everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for your patience if you've been waiting on this video. I just wanted to make it as accurate and as helpful as I possibly could, especially because I've been in the middle of a chemistry course that's 5 weeks long, so it's super accelerated. So a lot of this stuff is fresh in my mind on how to navigate an online college course. For credibility's sake, I just wanted to say I did get a 4.0 both my semesters. I'm a rising sophomore and I took 15 credits my first semester and I took 18 credits the next. I also worked 3 jobs. I am coming from a place where I'm very busy, and so time management is super important, but I also want to acknowledge that not everyone's learning style is the same. So what works for me may not work for you, but I really do hope this video is helpful, and I'm breaking it into 3 parts, talking about the background of what happened at my school for COVID, how my classes did online, my experience emotionally, and then ending with 10 tips. So for background, I learned that my university was going online, I think the second week of March. We were on spring break and the president sent out an email that said there's going to be a 2-day extension of spring break, and then no one should come home if they are already at home with family, or if you are in the dorms, try to find a way to safely get back. And after those 2-day extension, all of our classes were going to be done online, no exceptions. I was completely confused because I've never been homeschooled. I had one online course in my spring semester already, like that was pre-COVID, I already was just doing that, but to have my entire course schedule online was definitely something unheard of. I've done public school my whole life, so I was very taken aback, but I know it was for the right reasons. I mean, there's no way around it. School should be online, you need to socially distance, all of that. That's about it though. And the university didn't do a whole lot around that. I continued to work at the front desk of my residence hall, and I decided to move home immediately when I found out the news, packed up my entire dorm room, and then moved back because I was only 30 minutes away. So that's a little bit of the background. University went online, we had a 2-day extended spring break, and then everything was expected to go online immediately. First class is German. I used to have German Monday through Friday at 9 in the morning, and it changed from having that lecture and that discussion every single day to twice a week check-ins. So on Tuesday and Friday, we would have class with everyone via Zoom. It became far more learn on your own, which was harder at first. So the way that I coped was continuing to study that specific course content at the same time every day, and that helped me stay in a routine even though I didn't necessarily have to do that work at that same time every day. I had to rely a lot more on textbooks and readings and any other books or materials that we were given for the course. So that's how my German class changed. It went from every day to twice a week, and a lot more learn on your own, ask questions to the professor through email or any other time. My next class was Politics is Sex. I had that twice a week, and we'd have half lecture, half discussion every single time almost. And my professor decided to not do live lectures because of time zone concerns. That was the most international class I had by far. And so there were some people that had 12-hour time zone differences. So my professor said, all right, no Zoom, we're not gonna do that. I'm just gonna upload it to Canvas, which is the type of site we use for all of our classes and coursework and what we turn in and things. And then the professor canceled the final project and made it a lot more about busy work in a sense. I learned a lot personally, but you had to make a journal reflection about how the readings connect and what you learned from them at the end. And then you also had to post in a discussion board. I love the class. I didn't really mind the busy work, but it definitely changed because I went from having in-person lectures where I could ask questions in real time to then just doing journal posts. But the class was a lot easier because I no longer had to think about a final project. My biology class was the one that functioned the most similarly, so that was my 3rd class. We continued to have live lectures twice a week as normal. Our exams were proctored online already before COVID, so I was already used to the proctored system of being watched and recorded. He was more flexible with labs though. That's another common thread among professors, is that they're a lot more understanding, I think, than if COVID hadn't happened, which makes sense, you would hope so. I didn't go to my lab meetings anymore that used to be 2 hours long on every Monday because we didn't need to. You kind of got to teach the lab by yourself. The biggest change was with my lab group. So instead of having them with me at lab and in-person lecture, we just talked over a Snapchat group message whenever we had to do the homework assignments because we were expected to complete those together. So we just kind of would guess what people filled out, and then we'd see each other on the Google Drive and just kind of do it that way. And it was fine, it worked. I kind of appreciate the fact that my biology professor didn't really change a whole lot because it maintained that consistency that I felt like a lot of kids wanted, so that was nice. My 4th class was Comedy and Politics. It was kind of similar to Politics is Sex, except we did have live lectures once a week. We also did do our final projects over Zoom, also had to engage in online discussion forums. My last class, my 5th class, was about biorenewable resources and like energy management, and that was already online, so I definitely took advantage of that. So that was an advantage because absolutely nothing changed except for a few deadlines being extended because of the emotional toll that it was having on students. And so the curriculum, the syllabus was all done, was already set, and nothing changed. So the third component of all of this is my experience with feelings. I moved back immediately, and I think that was a really big adjustment. It took me about 2 weeks to get used to it. I really missed having my friends with me all the time. I missed having a roommate. I missed having meals with my friends every day. I missed going out. I missed the parties. I missed studying with friends. I missed talking to classmates. That was definitely really hard, but ultimately I'm one of the lucky ones, and I think the moment I realized that, I got over it really quickly because while working as a front office person at my residence hall, I was talking to a lot of people who weren't able to go home because either their country had shut down, it was too expensive to get a flight out of nowhere, especially during COVID times, and their home situations, not having a safe place to go home. And I had a place where I didn't have to pay, my parents do, and I trust them and I love them. So my experience, like I mentioned in the beginning, was probably one of the best considering the circumstances. And so there was definitely a lot of disappointment. You don't want your freshman year to be altered. You don't want your freshman year to like be cheated from you, especially because you spend so much money on it. But I feel like it's one of those situations where it can always be worse. And so I just really tried to get into the zone. Like, I can't change anything. I can't change the fact that there's a virus killing hundreds of thousands of people. I can't change any of that, but what I can change is getting my work done and getting the most out of my education. And that's just kind of how I went forward. And like, once again, it's a mindset thing. That doesn't mean that it's super easy for everyone to think that way, but I think that's what helped me maintain my grades and maintain my mental stability, was just being like, all right, I can't deal, I'm just gonna do this, let's go. And the last component is tips that have 10. I won't explain them a whole lot, but if you have questions, of course, please just ask. And if you're an incoming freshman and you're worried about how online is going to affect your experience, that is so valid and understandable, but it's still really fun and you still get to learn a lot. I mean, college is great because a lot of your courses, besides general ones, they're more tailored to what your interests are and what your major is, and so that's really exciting. My first tip is to wake up at the same time every single day. I base it off of the earliest time that I have class. So for my example, spring semester, I had German every day. But because of online, I had German twice a week. And I continued to wake up at 8:30 in the morning anyways, even though I only had German twice a week, because that gets you on a schedule and then you get better sleep as a result. I just personally feel a lot better if I wake up at the same time every day. My second tip is to use Google Drive as much as you can. I love it so much. I organize my folders, I'll show you over here somewhere, and I color coordinate them. And anytime I take notes, do a project, have a paper due, anything, I go into that folder and then open up a document, and so everything's organized. I absolutely hate when I just have a bunch of unorganized files. It makes it harder to find and it's just not as fun. Maybe a lot of people do that already, but I just want to say it anyways. Number 3, plan out your day. It feels weird not going to class physically, and so having a paper or a digital app, sometimes I use notes on my iPhone to time out my day hour by hour, really helps me. I schedule in when I'm going to eat, I schedule in when I'm going to study, and that's about until 3 or 4 p.m. and then after that I just kind of do whatever. But I think having those set out really helps me. If that sounds too intimidating though, I think just writing a to-do list for what you want to accomplish in the day also works, because I feel like if you can really feel proud and feel gratitude for what you were able to accomplish in a day, you'll feel more motivated to do more or keep it up the same way the next day. Number 4 is in the same vein as planning your day, but analyzing the syllabus. Write down everything that's due for as long as you possibly can in one sitting, and I recommend Google Calendar for that, because then again you can color coordinate. So if you want to write down all the times you have tests or like a big paper due, you can write that all down in Google Calendar. So many people have lower grades because they just didn't turn in a homework assignment, or because they just forgot it, didn't do it, and every point counts. I'm such a firm believer in that. Like, every single point counts. If you miss a homework assignment and you're like at an 89.5, sometimes professors won't round you up, and then that switches up your GPA drastically. Number 5, make a designated study space. I feel like this is talked about a lot, but people don't actually do it, and I swear to God, it makes a difference. If you are gonna use your desk, never sit on your phone. Like, don't use that chair or that space as a place to be on your phone or to relax. Maybe use a certain space on your floor where you can put a pillow behind you and then study there. Anything where you can just think, this is where I do schoolwork, this is where I focus, this is where I write. It'll help. Your brain will create that association, and I swear it's helpful. Number 6, turn off your phone. I'm yelling just because I need to do that with myself too. Turn it off or put it somewhere where you can't see it. Put it in a drawer, put it in a different room, have your friend take it. It doesn't matter, have your parents take it. Doesn't matter. Get rid of it. You won't think about it as much. You won't check it as much. Even if I have my phone like on my desk, I still want to check it. I still want to see if I have any notifications, and it gets rid of your flow. Number 7, maintain a relationship with your professor. You can still do it online. Email them questions. Don't be afraid to ask because they're here for you. Go to Zoom sessions if they offer them, if they have any Zoom help sessions. I did that with biology and it helped me so much because people barely come. They'll be more lenient about extensions, and by creating a relationship with them, they can really help you in other ways. Sometimes they're fantastic connections for research opportunities and just generally really cool people. Number 8, if you feel like you can't do any more homework, you feel like your brain is just tired and you don't want to do it anymore, just don't force yourself. I feel like people don't talk about that enough. Listen to music, watch a show, FaceTime a friend, do anything else but school. You will thank yourself later and you will feel more motivated. Or take a nap or something. Time yourself for 45 minutes and then get back into it, because I get burnt out really fast, really easily, and if I took more breaks, which I've learned how to do now, I would be so much more efficient, so much happier, and then not dread school. Number 9, a studying method that I really like that my roommate actually introduced me to is for studying 25 minutes followed by a 5-minute study break and setting an alarm that goes off. It helps me to remember to stretch, drink water, eat a snack, and that also helps prevent burnout. Once again, some of these tips I don't listen to sometimes, but I swear to you, when I do actually follow them, I'm so much more productive. I am quicker at getting what I need to get done, and then I can just enjoy whatever else I want to do. Number 10 is just kind of, I feel like it's obvious, but do extra credit assignments even if you have an A. Sometimes professors will have them in the beginning of the year and then people don't do them, and it's kind of like, why not? Why aren't you doing them? Because you never know if you're gonna have a bad assignment day. You never know if you're gonna have one of those days where you just don't have any energy to do anything at all. College is stressful. It happens to everybody. Just do them. Also, asking your professor. I remember I was really close to an A from an A-, and the reason I got an A was because I asked my professor, full transparency, I really want this A. Is there extra credit assignments you can give me? And he had me watch 2 German movies of my choice on Netflix, write a report on it, and then I got extra credit that sent me over the edge for an A. So the whole every point matters, I think, is really true. That's all I can think of for now, but good luck to everyone in the fall and beyond. I hope this is helpful, and if you want more tips or for me to expand on anything else, just let me know. You can find me on Instagram at CarlyAlina. I'm always happy to help, and I really appreciate your suggestions and your support. Always. I think you're all amazing, and wherever you are, whatever time, I hope it continues to be good, or at least it's better. And I'll see you next time. Bye!
Weekend, hit it on me then.